Hello, my name is Iker Torres, and I'm a member of Team 6. Our team will explain combination and permutation, what it is, and we will also provide some examples, and we will solve them. So without further ado, thank you very much for your attention, and we will now begin the presentation.
Hi, I'm Natalia, and today I'm going to explain what is combination. So let's think as combination as a fruit salad, right? So when making a fruit salad and when we're eating a fruit salad, the order doesn't really matter because at the end we're gonna eat and we're gonna put in the fruit salad the same fruits. So my fruit salad, for example, is a combination of apple, grapes, and bananas. We don't care what the order the fruits are in. We could also put bananas, grapes, and apples, or grapes, apples, and bananas. It's the same amount and type of fruit. So combination is basically when the order doesn't matter, right? So the formula is often important because it's often just written in big parentheses because it's easier to put it that way in the calculator. But let's not forget that the formula will always be n factorial divided by r factorial multiplied by n minus r factorial, right? And that's gonna be your result, where n is the number of things to choose from and where to choose r of them. No repetition, order doesn't matter. I hope you understood a little bit better what combination is.
Combination example. Let's suppose you're making a playlist and you're only allowed to choose 66 songs in it, but you have 115 favorite songs and you can decide. But there is an algorithm that can actually do it for you. Find how many options you have. Well, here's the solution. First, you need to analyze it. In order is the first thing you need to look for, if it matters the order or it doesn't, because it makes a difference when choosing between using permutation and combination. Then you need to identify your n and r values for the formula. In this case, 115 is the n value because it's your favorite songs, and 66 is the r value because it's the length of the playlist. Then you input these values in your calculator. You should look for a NCR option in your calculator, which is right here, NCR, and then you write 15 combination 66, and then you should get the same number, which is 8.83 40 67 71 4 times 10 elevated to the 32 power.
A permutation of a set of elements is the arrangement that we can have of set elements taking into account the order. In other words, we use permutations when the order is important. The notation is the following: NPR, where n is the total amount of elements we have, p means permutation, and r represents the number of elements we want to arrange in a specific order out of the total of elements. To do a permutation, we need the following formula: n factorial over n minus r factorial. So to make this clearer, let's say we have three elements, element number 1, number 2, and number 3. And we want to know how many possible groups we can form if we took two random elements, and knowing that the order in which we place those elements is important. To know the answer, we use the formula, our total, which is 3 in factorial form, 3 factorial. Then our total minus the elements we want to arrange, 3 minus 2, and that in factorial form. So it looks like 3 minus 2 factorial. That is equal to 3 factorial over 1 factorial, which is equal to 6 over 1. Then our answer is 6. We can prove that result with the following table. So the possible way we can have is element number 1 and number 2, element number 2 and number 1, element number 1 and number 3, element number 3 and number 1, element number 2 and number 3, or element 3 and number 2. So we can arrange two elements out of 3 in 6 possible ways when we take into account the order.
Now we're going to see an example of permutation. In this case, we have 25 people, but there must be a group of 3 people in a committee in which there must be a representative, associative, and a secretary. First of all, we have to locate our sample space, which is 25. I'm going to add up all of these people. If you add them up, it will give you 25. The symbol of sample space is n. Now, since we already know that our group is going to be of a representative, an associative, and a secretary, we know that the group size is going to be of 3. The group size symbol is R. Now, there are only 2 ways in which we can solve problem, but you only using permutation. First of all, we can use the formula. The formula consists of NPR, the sample space, the factorial of sample space over the factorial of the sample space minus the group size. It's okay if you didn't get it at the first try. Instead, we can use a calculator in which you insert the sample space. In this case, it's going to be 25. Then press Shift and multiplication symbol in order to obtain P. Lastly, insert your group size, 3, in the calculator, and you will obtain the answer 13,800.